Alex is on the beat.
And there you have the live pictures coming to you from the Moi International Kasarani Sports Center, where we had witnessed the arrival of the body of the former Prime Minister that was taken off the military gun carriage and into the stadium there after the scenes that we had witnessed of gunfire shots into the air to disperse the surging crowd into the area that was meant to be the sitting positions for the dignitaries, including the president, who we hadn't confirmed his presence. But we had seen the presence of other ODM leadership. But to get what's happening there, let's get in touch with my colleague Jimmy Mbogo by way of link. And Jimmy, what can you tell us? We have heard sounds of gunshots. What exactly is happening?
Ayub, it's quite a scary experience where we are currently standing in somewhere we've had to take cover. So there was a bit of an altercation between the leaders and the crowd that had gathered there. There was a bit of pouring of water on that is on some of the leaders there, and we saw some of the agitated crowd throwing the twigs that they had with them into that is the presidential dais. I believe that should be in the middle. Now, that is what triggered the response from the police officers and the security personnel that were manning that pavilion, both the presidential escort and, of course, the recce team that is currently here at Kasarani Stadium. So that then resulted to the lobbing of tear gas just to try and disperse that crowd that was there. And it didn't matter whether you're media or part of the crowd that was just that had gathered here as mourners. Everyone has been dispersed. So we're still taking cover somewhere within the building, but we will try to go back in and see whether that has been addressed. But majority of the people that had gathered here at Kasarani Stadium, there was a bit of a stampede, and most of them actually ran towards the exit. So if you look at the exit places, and especially next to Gate 4 and Gate 3, that is where majority of the people are currently standing. When you look on behind the presidential pavilion, there's still a number of vehicles here belonging to some of these leaders that were inside. We're trying to just say, and earlier, Ayub, what we saw is some of these ODM leaders had tried to reach out and speak to try and just calm down but was getting agitated. I've been here from right around the time that here, which is around 12 p.m. Now, you will remember that the viewing was supposed to happen at Parliament, but because of the crowd there and the very poor crowd control that we saw there, that same crowd had to move back to this side once they got the news that the viewing was supposed to happen right here at the Kasarani Stadium. Now, but as soon as we got here, that is around a few minutes after midday, that is when we found the police and the security apparatus here at the Kasarani Stadium just trying to come up with a strategy and planning themselves. However, a few minutes after we got here, there was slowly building. If you remember from the link that I had done earlier on, we just got into the stadium. The crowd was still very manageable, so there was an opportunity to try and control this crowd better. However, that opportunity was missed because as the security operators are still getting their acts together, the crowd kept on, and so they ended up getting into the stadium through all the entrance that they could find, and slowly onto the. Now, ideally, what we were told the plan was for them to get into the stadium, that is between Gate 9 and Gate 10, and walk around the stadium, view the body right down, right on the field level. That is where the viewing was supposed to happen, straight on across from the presidential pavilion, and they were supposed to walk straight into Gate 4 and exit through that gate. However, before even the barrier could be set up, the crowd kept on increasing, and so it became a nightmare. It became very evident that the security operators were not ready to receive this crowd that was building. But then, so the crowd went on, and we saw a number of leaders from the ODM party that were already here. They tried to speak to them just to try and get them to calm down, to try and get them to be patient. However, there has been no communication from the leaders that are currently here. We have tried to, we're hoping that at least there would be a bit of a direction to be given. And right above me, I can see former Chief Justice, that is David Maraga, who's also taken cover in the VIP area. And so that just goes to show you that no one was spared in this chaos that we have witnessed a few minutes ago. So there was a bit of tear gas that has been lobbed, and what is believed to be either live or rubber bullets that was in the air, trying to make sure crowd that was really buzzing and asking to know what is the way forward. We will try also to, if we can, able to speak to some of the youth. However, that will have to wait until later on so that we can understand why, what triggered that. But from where we were shooting from, and from where we were standing together with our to alert you is that our entire team is okay. That is my camera person, my camera colleague, and also our colleagues from Inoro and Ramogi. We are all safe, so no one needs to worry about us. We're okay. We're just taking cover. So based on that, we will try to understand. We haven't seen any of the leaders leave yet. Right where I'm standing, what I can be able to see is that all the leaders are still here based on the number of their vehicles, and all their assistants are still here. You can see a number of them just speaking to each other. It is, however, what we do not know is what is the way forward. Is there are Kenyans going to be allowed then to go ahead and view this body and pay their last respect, or not? Because from all indications here is that this is likely to happen. However, there has been no communication. Now, I will take you back. The public address vehicle, the president side of the field, but we saw some of these vehicles being attacked. Initially, playing a bit of music, just
that is Jimmy Mbogo, and we do apologize towards the end of the lacking clarity in his communication due to the breakdown that we had experienced, and he was giving us an assessment of what's happening at the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, where members of the security service are trying to contain the surging sea of humanity that was there to receive the body of the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga that was taken off the military gun carriage. And the public viewing that was supposed to happen seems to be here, underpinned by the headache posed by the logistical nightmare which had prompted the move from the National Assembly in Parliament to the Moi International Sports Center. And we had seen a while ago, as Jimmy had reported, sounds of the gunfire, but he had authoritatively confirmed that those were of rubber bullets that were fired to disperse the crowds, and as well as the tear gas that was lobbed to disperse the crowds that were building up towards the presidential dais that was meant to accommodate the president and other dignitaries for the public viewing that was to take place. And this is in relation to the fitting send-off that was accorded the former Prime Minister by the President yesterday when he addressed the nation from State House in Nairobi, a man who he had described, and many did, including those who he had served with in Parliament, as a debater, and a formidable one at that, when he represented the constituency of Langata, and thereafter becoming one of the key ingredients of the Grand Coalition government, having served as the Prime Minister with President Mwai Kibaki after the 2007 post-election violence. A man of convictions made for the seasons, as yesterday described by many, and the fitting salute that will be accorded the former Prime Minister, and a man who as well had broken the thickness of unimaginable glass ceiling in Kenya's political arena. So as we make sense of what's happening in Kasarani, let's come back to studio, and I'm joined by Alex Matere and Kedi Mwaga. Gentlemen, much appreciated. Of course, young, but both of you have benefited from the association that you had with the former Prime Minister. Alex, to begin with you, such a big day, and it appears that even in death, the former Prime Minister, as he was when he was alive, commands so much respect among millions with considerable ease.
Thank you so much, Ayub. First, allow me to start by sending my heartfelt condolences to our mother, Mama Aida, the children, our contemporaries, Winnie, Junior, and Rosemary, for not just having lost a leader, but a father. Secondly, also to all his supporters across. Baba, in several occasions, he was heard saying,
Tumekaa Nairobi na hakuna siku nyingine tutakuja kuona Raila. Leo ndio tunaona Raila. Tunasema tupatie heshima. Hiyo ndio heshima. Hakuna siku nyingine tutaona Raila. Hakuna Raila mwingine. Huu ndio Raila tumeona na ndio mwisho. Hatutawahi muona.
So the honor, the thing that is there, it is us to help ourselves.